Hello there, I'm Eva Pilgrim. Thanks for streaming with us. Week 3 of testimony in the Sean Diddy Combs trial, starting with the music mogul's former assistant, Capricorn Clark, taking the stand.
This Diddy trial ain't just about celeb drama anymore. It's turned into a full-on media circus that's blowing up bigger every single day. What started with Cassie bravely telling her truth has now spiraled into something way deeper than anyone expected. This ain't no tabloid rumor or Hollywood scandal. It's a courtroom roller coaster with leaked audio, mystery footage, and shocking celeb name drops that nobody saw coming. At first, it looked like this was all about Cassie and the twisted control she says Diddy had over her life. Wild parties, isolation, straight-up manipulation. But now, it's heading into dangerous territory. Insiders say the courtroom is hearing things way crazier than the public even knows. Real recordings, and not just regular phone convos. We're talking raw, graphic tapes that allegedly feature Diddy, Will Smith, and even Meek Mill being name-dropped. And yeah, this isn't just whispered gossip. It's reportedly being played in court with everyone sitting there in stunned silence. It all started when that shaky hotel footage surfaced. No sound, just grainy images. Folks thought that was the smoking gun. But nah, that was just the preview. Behind closed doors, the courtroom heard something so intense that phones were completely banned. No one was allowed to record.
She testified she was held against her will twice. At one point alleging she was forced from her apartment and into a car to take Combs and one of his bodyguards to the home of rapper Kid Cudi to, quote, kill him. Cudi was dating his ex, Cassie Ventura, at the time. Clark also claimed Combs threatened to kill Ventura if she didn't convince Kid Cudi not to tell police that Combs was allegedly involved with a break-in at his house. Clark also telling the jury that a large man repeatedly administered lie detector tests to her on suspicion that she stole jewelry loaned to Combs. She testified that this man said if she flunked the test, they're going to throw you in the East River.
Just pure silence, except for the audio that insiders say was straight up disturbing. One person who was inside said the content of that tape was so explicit and upsetting, they couldn't even speak afterward. And right after that audio hit, boom, a whole new witness list dropped. But this ain't just a random crew of clout chasers. These are people who were inside Diddy's circle. Former artists, assistants, house staff, and party regulars. People who were in the room when things went down. Now, thanks to legal protection, they're finally stepping forward and telling what they really saw. One major bombshell witness, Dawn Richard, who fans remember from Danity Kane, the girl group Diddy once managed. She took the stand and looked completely wiped out as she left the courtroom. Sources say she didn't hold back.
In 2009, did you observe an incident between Puff and Cassie? Yes, she was attacked by Sean and kicked. Did you see more violence by him against Cassie? Often. The government then shows Dawn Richard a picture of Diddy Dirty Money. When were you a member of this group? 2009 to 2011. The incident in 2009 when Sean Combs Cassie, where was it? In Sean Combs' LA home. We were recording. What did he do? He was saying, "Where the F is my food?" He grabbed a black skillet with eggs and tried to hit her over the head. Cassie dropped to the ground. What did she do? She was in a fetal position. Then what? Sean Combs was kicking her in the head and the body and then dragged her up to the first floor. Glass was breaking and yelling. I was scared for her and for me too. Did you intervene? No. Did you call the police? No. The next day, what happened? He said it had been passionate and she was okay, and that it would be better if we didn't talk, that people could end up missing. How did you understand that? Death. Diddy's team then yells objection. Then the judge calls a sidebar and ends her testimony for the day. But Dawn Richard will be back on Monday to give the rest of her full testimony against Diddy. But right before they brought Dawn Richard in, they actually had a Homeland Security agent testify against Diddy about when they came and arrested him to take him to jail. So let's go ahead and get into that. The government asked, when Sean Combs was arrested, where did you go? The Park Hyatt Hotel, room 2115, where he was staying. They show a picture to the jury of his hotel suite, and what did you do? We assigned a letter to each room and began to search. What was your role? I took photographs of items and then signed them on the 6051 form. What was found in the closet? They then show a picture to the jury, and it was plastic bags full of Johnson & Johnson baby oil and Astroglass.
She reportedly confirmed Cassie's version of events and even shared a brutal story. She says she once saw Diddy beat Cassie down just because dinner wasn't ready on time. This case is spiraling into something no one can ignore. The very next day, things got even darker. Dawn Richard and her bandmate were allegedly told by Diddy to stay silent. Don't speak, don't react, don't breathe a word. Then came a chilling moment that hit everyone in the gut. Diddy's daughters were seen walking out of the courtroom, pale, shaken, and dead silent. Not a single word, not even a glance toward the cameras. And this happened right after that disturbing audio was played. Their reaction didn't need any explanation. It was all over their faces. Whatever they heard in that courtroom must have been deep. And just when the air couldn't get any thicker, Will Smith's name got dropped. Right there in open court. This wasn't a rumor floating around Twitter. His name was tied directly to the court audio, and the internet lost its mind. Old interviews started resurfacing. People were picking apart every awkward moment between Diddy and Will, and even comedy bits started looking suspicious.
You guys really sat through that whole case and kept your spirits high. I really like that for y'all. That was great. Keep your spirits up, y'all.
What you're saying reaches the ears of Will Smith, and he needs to get at least, if there's smoke, there's fire, let me grab a fan.
Number one, as far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right by all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care, children that grew up to be men, boys like Bashir Gray, August Alsina, your own son. Like, your own son. Do people forget about that voice clip that I played from Brother Belial?
Hey.
Has anybody seen Belial?
Come on.
I asked him, didn't I ask for him last year?
Come on.
Where's Belial? Is he missing with Cuba? Have they all moved to Bali with Russell Simmons and Kevin Liles?
I would always say it is interesting when you speak on, Jada Smith and you see the hug with with Justin
Bieber.
Justin Bieber. And then for Bashir, you see him all of a sudden fighting over Sydney Starr with Eddie Winslow. It does question what happens in the entertainment industry that makes someone go into just being very close with men on men contact. It's interesting, I'll say the least.
You want to know the thing that bothers me most about Bashir Gray? I actually think he's doing all of this so they'll take him back in the club. And they're not. They're gonna keep gaslighting you and playing with you, promising you one thing or another.
Remember when comedian Lou and Elle joked that Diddy and Will might be more than friends? At the time, folks laughed it off. But now, that clip is everywhere. And then Jaguar Wright stepped into the spotlight, saying similar things. But this time, people were listening. And it didn't stop there. Out of nowhere, Will's former assistant, Brother Bilal, came forward with some wild claims. He said he saw it with his own eyes. He walked in on Will and actor Dwayne Martin during a very intimate moment. Whether folks believed him or not, the story caught fire instantly. Bilal didn't hold back either. He claimed he's never been sued over it because the Smiths know he's telling the truth. And guess what? Lou and Elle backed it up too, saying the bond between Will and Dwayne was way deeper than people ever realized. Suddenly, every old pic, every red carpet moment, every clip of Will and Diddy hanging out got put under the microscope. People were watching with fresh eyes, and it all started to look different.
You kept it straight on the Smiths. Like, you was just like, I seen Jamie with women.
Yeah.
I seen Jamie with black. And I was like, okay, so this ain't got nothing to do with him trying to gain clout off of every celebrity, trying to ruin his relationship with all the celebrities you've done business with. This is just this particular friend that I've known damn near my whole life, and his wife, you feel like is sabotaging everything that y'all have together, and it's causing you to question him and his friendship towards you.
Without question. So here's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Okay.
You know, it's no secret in Hollywood that Jada hates me because I have a strong relationship with Will and I do my own thing.
Why don't she hate Dwayne?
I can't answer that question.
Why don't she hate Dwayne Martin?
Well, she's gonna love anybody that treats her like she's a god. Right? When you're a narcissist and a sociopath like she is, and I'll get into that, you want to be worshipped. And she got the bag. So these people will worship her, thinking that that Jada's going to do something for them. But a narcissist and a sociopath is only looking to do things for themselves.
It was shocked because I was like, Jada is talking about suing. Mm-hmm. And she's speaking on this, and to my surprise, Will hasn't said anything. And so they did come out and say a rep for Will totally denies the allegations. I was like, Will does not respond to anything.
Nope.
He's never. This is all Jada, because as soon as that rep statement came out, she goes to sit on the Breakfast Club to reiterate the same shit that I feel she gave to TMZ.
Yes. Yeah. And so I'll say this to you as well.
Okay.
She also said in that interview that they were doing business.
Mm-hmm.
Will was not helping me out, right?
Yeah.
And it's a very good interview on this channel called Popcorn Planet.
Okay.
Where a big celebrity lawyer breaks down Jada's interview on the Breakfast Club. And say,
shout out to you said Popcorn
Planet.
Okay, shout out to Popcorn Planet. We gotta check that out.
They cannot even sue based on what she did at the Breakfast Club. Had Jada not went to the Breakfast Club, I would have been sued already. And just for the record, I haven't been sued yet. Have you been sued by Jada?
Nobody's contacted me at all.
Okay, so, and let me answer your other question. The reason Will responded, the reason why Jada responded, because they know it's true. Will's never responded. And they responded in less than 9 hours.
They did. That was a fast response.
That was because he know what I saw in that dressing room. He know other things that I saw.
You said it was murder.
Yes. Dwayne Martin's a serial killer because Will's not the only one. And we're going to get into that later on too. So basically Jada's interview did two things. It makes me now, me and her at war. I'm gonna put Will to the side. Will is to the side. Me and Jada, I will say this because I know you're watching. I know Karen Tense is watching.
Who's Karen Tense?
That is her PR person for years.
Okay.
Right? I know they're watching. Jada, you're a bald head liar and you're a drug addict. Right?
Oh, God.
You did not sue me. You told the world that you were going to sue me. As of yet, and you said you're going to do it swiftly. It's been over 2 weeks. So Jada, I'm giving you 2 more weeks to sue me. If you don't sue me, this is what's going to happen. All the sex parties, right? And the men that you hit with dildos, I'm naming names, right? all the salacious stuff that you have done and hurt other people, I'm naming names. Because now what we got to do is we got to force her to say she lied.
The energy shifted fast. Will tried to shut it down quick, but the internet doesn't forget. Will tried to play it cool, saying, I ain't nowhere near that man. I didn't do any of that stupid stuff. But that move backfired. Big time. The internet came through with receipts, clips, photos, party footage, proof showing Will and Diddy hanging out everywhere from VIP lounges to rooftop parties. People started feeling played, like the truth had been hidden in plain sight this whole time. And just when things were already spiraling, Meek Mill's name popped up in the courtroom audio, and boom, everything exploded. While Will stayed quiet and tried to keep things clean, Meek completely lost it online. His Twitter was on fire, with defensive rants and all caps denial after denial. But instead of clearing the air, it just made people side-eye him even harder. Folks were like, why so pressed if there's nothing to hide?
Is that he's dressing like, he dressing the same he dressing like Diddy? Hugged up with Diddy? I think that Lil Rod know a lot of but I know this. Two men dressing alike, it's just like two men laying down. When they both get up, they both homos. And that's real talk, bruh. My man, you go to a party, dog, and the nigga got the same shirt you got on, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm walking around in a t-shirt. And then, not to blow Meek Mill up out the water or anything like that, it was said that they checked his Google search and all the other shit, and he was searching for some online gay porn and all that other shit like that.
Oh, wow.
That shit is crazy, bro. But listen, those are what, you know, it's crazy that money, that lifestyle, and you trying to fit into something get you. These guys never set out to do all this shit. Meek Mills, when he got into the game, he didn't set out to be questioning about his manhood with Diddy.
For years, fans joked about Meek's super tight bond with Diddy. They gave him funny nicknames and made weird comments, but most of that stuff flew under the radar. Until now. Suddenly, those jokes ain't so funny anymore. Every tweet, every grainy video, every meme is getting a second look like they're clues in some crazy puzzle. One clip showed Meek at a party, clearly uncomfortable while someone laughed off camera. Another wild video resurfaced of Diddy throwing Meek a birthday bash with a bunch of shirtless dudes by the pool. On camera, Diddy even calls him daddy. That clip?
A lot. Eva, she testified that Sean Combs at one point threatened to Kid Cudi after finding out that he began dating Cassie Ventura. But she talked about 3 distinct episodes as prosecutors today started to home in on one of the elements of the alleged racketeering conspiracy, and that's kidnapping. Capricorn Clark said in 2004 in New York, she was forced to take a lie detector test for 5 days straight on suspicion of stealing jewelry. In 2008, she said Sean Combs charged at her and kept shoving her with his hand. She demonstrated for the jury until pushing her all the way out of his house in Miami Beach when she said that she hates it here and forced her out of the house. And then in 2011 in Los Angeles is when she says she was forced at gunpoint into a car to go to Kid Cudi's house because Sean Combs was very upset.
Aaron, Clark painted a picture of what it was like to work for Combs, saying she even had to take a lie detector test. Why did she have to do that?
This goes back to July 4th weekend in the Hamptons. Sean Combs was hosting one of his now famous white parties, and he was able to wear 3 very high-end pieces of jewelry loaned to him by Jacob the jeweler. And after the party, Capricorn Clark was supposed to take possession of the jewelry and bring it on a private plane to Miami Beach, where Combs was headed. And on her way to the airport, she realized the bag wasn't there, and she said that she suspected it was an inside job. But apparently Combs and one of his bodyguards, a guy by the name of Uncle Paulie, that's how he was known, ended up taking her to what would be the headquarters of Bad Boy Entertainment. At the time, it was on 40th Street and Broadway. This was going to move uptown into the upper 50s, but the building wasn't finished, and she recalled for the jury being taken to a dilapidated space. There was only a folding table and chairs, and she remembered a huge guy, 5 times her size, chain smoking and hooking her up to a lie detector machine every day for 5 days straight, and threatening that if she failed the test, she'd be thrown into the East River.
It instantly became a meme, and the timeline went nuts. Meek tried to clap back, saying, "I'm not fruity, stop playing with me." But the internet wasn't having it. They came back swinging with old footage, tweets, and screenshots that had people raising their eyebrows all over again. But here's what's got everyone glued to this drama. It's the mystery audio from inside the courtroom. Nobody outside's heard it. No leaks, no snapshots, no transcripts, just total silence. And that silence? It's got people's imaginations running wild. Some insiders are saying the audio might include someone getting hurt, while Diddy allegedly laughs in the background. If that's true, this case is way darker than anyone ever thought. That's how twisted this whole thing is getting. Some folks are saying the tapes are being kept under wraps to protect the people involved. Maybe it's about keeping some kind of privacy or dignity. But others, they think it's way deeper than that. Word is, those recordings might be too explosive. With names so big, exposing them could light Hollywood on fire.
Suggested that, she just loved Sean Combs, and how could any of this be true? She said, look, he blackballed me in the music industry, stymied her as she tried to get other work, and so eventually she felt like she had no choice but to return to Sean Combs, and that's why she was so eager to work for him.
I'm curious what Combs' response was hearing this in the courtroom.
He was a really active defendant today. For the whole trial, he's been listening intently, scribbling notes, but on several occasions as Capricorn Clark was testifying, he would whisper into his attorney's ear, and Mark Agnifilo would then jump up to object when Capricorn Clark was trying to make a point. So he clearly did not remember the course of events that she described today the same way that Capricorn Clark did, and it was almost as if he was directing some of the cross-examination.
Aaron Katersky for us there outside the federal court in Manhattan. Thank you so much. And here to dig into the start of week 3 of this trial is ABC News legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. You've been in the courtroom almost all of this trial, right? So whose testimony so far do you think has been the most significant?
Well, I think the obvious answer has got to be Cassie Ventura. Cassie Ventura for a number of reasons. One, according to the government, she is victim number 1, and she does describe a lot of the allegations that the government is putting forward against Sean Combs, whether it be the racketeering conspiracy as to how this criminal enterprise operated, the different players. She's named a few of the security guards, for example, D-Rock, Ruben, also the sex workers and dancers who participated in these freak-offs. She's named them all because she participated in hiring them, according to her, because Sean Combs made her do so. And then, of course, just hearing the other details, like Kid Cudi's car being hit with a Molotov cocktail. That's really giving us direction as the case continues.
We're not just talking about damaged reputations here. We're talking careers destroyed, million-dollar deals collapsing, lawsuits flying left and right, and powerful people being dragged into the spotlight that never wanted to be seen. People with deep pockets, global reach, and ironclad images. If these tapes ever go public, they might take down folks we didn't even know were in the game. And that's what's got the streets buzzing. If Diddy, Meek Mill, and Will Smith are only the beginning, then who else is in this mess? One name that keeps popping up is T.D. Jakes. Yeah, the pastor. And according to Gene Deal, there's good reason for that. The way it's being described by insiders, this ain't just a scandal. It's a whole underground network of shady behavior, with Diddy allegedly at the center of it all. If the courtroom whispers are even halfway true, then this web is massive. This stopped being about just Diddy and Cassie a long time ago. Now it feels like someone ripped the curtain down on a hidden world behind the red carpets, and award shows. A world where everything looks shiny on the outside, but behind the scenes, things might have been rotten for years. And the only reason it's all unraveling now? The feds are heating things up, and the people who were too scared to talk before, they're finally stepping out of the shadows. Some of them say they've been living with this pain for a long time.
And the Punisher was being directed by Diddy while he was doing the stuff to punish Cassie. Now, he could not look at Diddy, and as they go on in that whole scene and stuff like that, Diddy gets mad at him because Diddy tried to look him in the eye, or he tried to look Diddy in the eye or something like that when he was doing Cassie and Cassie was doing Diddy. It was some crazy stuff like that, man. But can we get back to the trial? Because that's in their sexual acts and what they doing, bro. All this shit is so perverted, and people, I don't know if they really want to hear that, and if they do want to hear that, bro, it's just crazy to me, because here it is that this mind that he has and this perverted mind that he do all this shit. I'm trying to wonder where this kid get this from. Is this some kind of learned behavior when he was a kid? Because you know his mama used to have those sex parties. His mama used to have those, and he used to see this and see some of this stuff. So is this him acting out his childhood fantasies that he saw back when he was a kid, or what? I don't know, bruh.
But now, they've had enough. So now we're at a boiling point. The trial keeps marching forward. The internet's working overtime, and the people whose names are getting dragged into this mess, they're out here acting like nothing's going on, as if the spotlight ain't blazing on them. But let's be real, that act won't hold up much longer. This story, it's not going away anytime soon. The internet has a long memory, and when folks feel like the truth's being hidden, they dig even deeper. We've already seen more people start speaking out. Folks who've been saying for years that Diddy wasn't who he pretended to be. And now, the world's finally listening. If those tapes ever see the light of day, it won't just wreck Diddy's image. It could rip the mask off an entire hidden part of Hollywood. A place where fame, money, and influence protected people from the consequences until now. Right now, Diddy seems to be in full damage control mode, trying to keep the flames from spreading. But according to Jaguar Wright, it might be too late to cover this up. What do you think? Is Diddy gonna manage to slip out of this, or is the truth catching up to him fast? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to keep the heat on. And as always, see you on the next one.